All right, Tony here with iDesign Memories. We're going to be talking today about monitoring the audio with the ATEM Mini Pro. I've ordered up 5 different, what they're called HDMI extractors. And here's one of them, the HDMI Audio Extractor. They basically just have a HDMI in, have a mini USB power source, HDMI out, and then a auxiliary for your headphones. So I've ordered up 5 of them to take a look at. And let's switch over here to the computer. We'll open this in a new tab. Here's the ones I've ordered. The Prozor. I'll show you the pricing on them, but from the cheapest is about 17 bucks to the bottom right one is about 25 bucks. Definitely some differences. Interestingly enough, the one that I'm liking the best, that I'm actually hooked up to right here, is this Prozor. The main reason I like it is here on the side, move my hand, has volume buttons. None of the others have volume, and they vary in their volume. And this one goes from basically using the volume buttons to off to just about blow your ears off. So anyway, right now I'm monitoring the audio. I can hear it, so that's a plus. And I'll just real quickly kind of run through what I've found. If you're not familiar with this program, it's called Trello. It's just a really great way to keep up with stuff. So here's the Prozor, and I'll put a link down in the bottom. It sold for $16.50 from Amazon. Bring that up. Show you again. This is Trello. Just a great way to keep up with stuff. Here's a lot of things I'm going to be trying to go through over as we move forward in time. But there's a picture of my desk showing the setup. But the Prozor sells for $16.50, and the comes with everything basically you need. Doesn't come with a charging block, a little USB charging block. Definitely not a deal breaker by any means. I'm sure if you're like me, you got lots of those laying around. But the big plus is that it has a volume control, and it's the least expensive. Try something here. Yeah, there we go. Little picture-in-picture going on. Then the second one is this one that was on the table. And it was this one here. Sells for $19.59. A plus for it came with the power cable. Oops, hit the wrong button. There we go. Came with the power cable. Sorry about that. A lot more keys on the ATEM Mini Pro. Came with a power cable, but interestingly enough, when I plugged it in, I didn't plug the power in, and it lit up. You know, so if you're, you know, working mobile like I am, and you've got power banks that you're using, it can be a plus to not have that extra plug-in that you have to use. So very sturdy in its build quality. Let's go on to the next one here. This is the, we'll flip over here and show it. It's this one here. Same thing, it's got your HDMI in, DC voltage. Pretty much all of them come with this little digital. Now this one I just mentioned didn't, but a lot of them come with this SPDIF. I don't know that anybody's going to be using that, but if you had digital speakers or a sound bar or something you're trying to hook up, this one was probably my least favorite. when I plugged in the cables, it was a little fidgety on getting the signal to come through. Audio jack, when I plugged it in, it kind of seemed to disconnect the video a little bit, so that's not a good thing. And the price on that one was $23.98, so a little bit more expensive. The next one that we looked at was this one by Fossman for $23.99. It was a penny more. It's kind of interesting. It's actually got an HDMI cable built in. You know, it's got a nice feel to it. It's plastic, where this one's metal. In all honesty, I'm not a fan of the HDMI cord being built in, simply because if for whatever reason that cord gets bad, you don't have any way to replace it. It's permanently connected to it, and it's more expensive. Very, very basic. That's my second least favorite behind this one. It did connect nicely and seemed to work fine. I'd be hesitant to depend on using just that built-in HDMI. And then drum roll, the final one here for $25.99 is the New Care HDMI. Switch over there. You know, not bad. Metal box. You know, it worked, turned on, worked fine. It's just basically for about $10 less, you can get the this ProZor, and definitely with having the huge plus having the volume controls. One thing I didn't mention, two of these, the final two, were just dramatically quieter, and no volume control, so that was not good, the way they came up. Go back over here. The you know, this one was considerably quieter. The second one was actually decent. In fact, it was almost too loud, and then you couldn't turn it down. So this one here was relatively quiet, and so was the Fossman. So you know, if you're trying to monitor audio, and one of the things you're trying to do is keep up with what's going on, I guess I can take these off since I know the audio is working. You know, just wanted to take the time here. It's been a big thing. I finally did run across someone yesterday that had a couple days ago had posted a little review on an audio extractor. And matter of fact, the one he purchased was the ProZor. Not sure if he looked at others and that was the one he chose, but if you're like me, you buy stuff online and you get it in, and then it doesn't quite work the way you wanted it to, and then you turn around and order something else. So, these weren't that expensive, so I just went ahead and ordered in all 5 of them. Obviously, I'll be sending 4 of them back. But anyway, the ProZor HDMI Audio Extractor. We can monitor our audio coming out of the ATEM Mini Pro. Again, all you do is just take a line out, HDMI out. It feeds into the extractor box, passes through, take your HDMI to your monitor, plug in your headphone jack, and you're good to go. One of the other options that we have as a monitoring audio, one of the things that I'm doing right now is using an old television, and it actually has a headphone jack. So if you've got a portable monitor that has an audio jack, you're going to be able to plug into that. But we all know that those nicer monitors with the headphone jack built in are pretty salty as far as price. We can get them for $60, $75, $100 all day long, 7-inch monitors that we can take and use. But those that have headphone jack built in don't work. Don't come into a lot of people's pocketbooks. So anyway, here's a solution for less than 20 bucks as promised. A couple other things I want to mention. I did, at his suggestion, I was having trouble. I think I may have had a setting that I had changed, but I couldn't get my ATEM Mini Pro to reconnect with my hotspot, which right now I'm actually streaming on the low setting on the YouTube, and we're getting data rate of right at 3 megabytes per second using, and I'll switch over here. My Netgear hotspot. First time I used it, connected perfect, but I was connecting my laptop through Wi-Fi because obviously the hotspot only has one connection coming into it, your Cat 6 cable. So at his suggestion, Aaron Parecki had mentioned getting the, I'll pull it up right quick if I can find it, the little hub. And I'm not going to go through all the details of, how to set it up and the benefits of it. He mentioned that and gave a good review of it. I got it hooked up with little to no incident. So what I've done is I've got my laptop going directly into it. I've got the ATEM Mini Pro going directly into it, and then I'm coming out of that into the Netgear. So that's a totally mobile solution, which is what I'm looking for. A couple of things. One of the things that came to mind, and I'm going to send a question to Aaron, but one of the advantages of having the ATEM Mini Pro with its own IP address is you can log in and find it from elsewhere. But I think you can only connect if you're on the same network. So for sure, trying to log into this network from elsewhere, you wouldn't be able to do that. So still learning about the finding the those IP addresses and things for the ATEM Mini Pro, and being able to find out where how you can log into it. One of the other questions I've got right now that I'm going to be looking at, and we'll bring it along as we go. When you're using macros, and everybody's trying to figure out, myself, I'm trying to figure out how not to be tethered to the laptop. It's just not mobile enough. I'm looking at smaller versions and tablets and Raspberry Pi and all those different things to see if there's a more mobile solution. But my question is for the folks, if somebody sees this and they know the answer, please put it in the comments. If you're running macros, the macros, best I can tell, even if you're using something like Strata's macro app, smart macro app, the computer has to be there to run the macros. And I'm not 100% sure of that, or the computer can be completely gone and you're just running macros and they're running on the ATEM Mini. Don't know that. To me, it seems like if the macro is running, it has to be running that with the software controller. So having the macros and having a tablet, yeah, that's great. One button to run the macros, but now you got a computer and a tablet. So anyway, one other thing just before I sign off. We've been on about 15 minutes. Been working on putting together a 5-minute countdown and intro. And one of the things that I wanted to point out here, a couple things. One is, and I'm going to try and remember to put these links, but Zebra Zone, I've seen a lot of people do ATEM Mini overviews. And this young man here, that's the most in-depth, most complete that I've seen. Excellent. So he's over at Zebra Zone is the name of his channel. So I'll be putting a link to that. I mean, everything you could possibly want to know about the ATEM Mini Pro from an overview, bird's eye view. So let's see, and then somebody else here. Of course, we just mentioned Aaron Parecki. Excellent information. But I did this intro, and I'm not going to make you sit through all 5 minutes of it, but I do want to share a little bit of it with you and talk a little bit about how I put it together. I'm trying to find, let's see, get over here, and I'm looking in my Trello here. Yeah, Casey Faris has a site, and I'll put his link in there, but he did this tutorial. I watched probably a dozen tutorials on making countdown timers, and you know, some of them look very, very what's the word, unprofessional, cheesy. So Casey did a wonderful job of just the basic one, and then he kicked it up a notch and really made it look even more professional. So I'm gonna, as we wind out here, I'm gonna just play a little bit of that and let you guys see what I did. I also used I think it's Mr. Alex Tech, and I'll include that in there as well. Some of his glitch transitions, he's got some free glitch transitions on his channel, and very nice. So anyway, questions, comments, hopefully we'll get some folks that watch this, and hopefully you learn something from it. And right now I'm going to switch over to the countdown timer and let it kind of play out, and you guys sign off whenever you're ready to. And thanks again. This is Tony with iDesign Memories. We're signing off.